Dove the Last Carriage, narrated by a Soviet WW2 veteran. I was just a village boy. Before the war, I worked the land, harvested hay, and loved one woman, Maria. We planned to marry in the fall after the harvest. She wore white dresses and smelled of lilacs. In June of 1941, I went to the district center for nails when I heard on the loudspeaker, "This is Moscow speaking." At 4 a.m. today, the world shattered in a heartbeat. I was sent to the front near Smolensk. My first battle, mud, blood, and screams. My friend Lesha, who grew up with me under the same roof, died in my arms. He was 19. We didn't cry. Not then. Just dug a grave beneath an apple tree. That night, I couldn't sleep. How would I tell his mother her son was gone? In the winter near Leningrad, it was so cold water froze in our mess tins. Frostbitten hands, festering wounds, but we held the line. I began writing to Maria every week, but her letters stopped coming. Then I received a notice. Village Maryevka burned. That was all. No address, no home, no her. In the spring of 1943, I joined reconnaissance. On the edge of a village, we ran into a young German soldier. His hands trembled. He didn't shoot, and I didn't. We looked into each other's eyes, two boys made into killers. He ran. I realized then, the enemy isn't always a beast. Sometimes just a boy in another uniform. May 1945. Berlin burned. Sheets hung from balconies. Women clutched children, staring at us with fear and pleading. I climbed to the roof of the Reichstag and watched the sun rise. We won, but I felt no joy. Only exhaustion and the longing for home. When I returned to my village, I didn't recognize it. My house, ashes. Neighbors said Maria was taken by the Germans in 42. No one saw her again. I sat on the threshold where we once spent our summers and cried for the first time since the war began. How many of us came back? Not men, shadows. Years later, I rode trains often, searching, watching faces. Maybe somewhere she still waited. An old conductor once said, "Many like you, soldier, came back from war but never really returned." He was right. In 1947, I married a nurse named Nina. She knew half my heart was buried in the past, yet she loved me still. In 49, our son was born. I named him Lesha. When he was 12, he asked, "Dad, did you kill people?" I said only, "I defended." He hugged me. That was enough. In 1971, I was in Minsk by chance. The train station buzzed with noise, old war songs on the radio. Then a woman with a cane, white hair, familiar eyes. Maria, she turned. Ivan, 30 years had passed. We stood as two souls who survived the storm. She'd lived through the camps, returned to find ashes, moved to Belarus. We didn't ruin the families we'd built, but we wrote to each other. Until her last breath, time eats memory. Faces fade, except those who died beside you. Every May 9th, I visit the memorial, stand alone, close my eyes, hear the crunch of snow, Lesha's whisper. "Hold on, Vanya, we'll go home." Now I'm just an old man. People listen to us on TV, nod, shed tears, then move on. But I want someone to know, behind every medal is a story. Every photo has a voice. We weren't heroes, we were survivors. And if you ever see an old man watching a train through a window, maybe he's still searching, or maybe he's watching his younger self pass by. I'm back at the station. Summer. The air smells of hot metal and dust. Trains leave, one after another, and suddenly a face in the last carriage. Familiar, maybe Maria, maybe me, and I smile, because even if everything is lost, I'm still waiting, and that means I'm still alive.